Hi everyone. This is a video mainly for my Women with an Expected End. It's the support group I do for survivors and thrivers of incest and those women that have unfortunately endured any kind of sexual trauma. But I wanted today to talk about forgiveness. I think other people will be able to glean something from this, because forgiveness is one of those words that many people, especially if you have that root of bitterness in your heart and you're very angry, you feel like people don't deserve it. And some people think that there are certain acts, whether it's, rape, incest, murder, animal abuse, or whatever, that person's life is completely unredeemable and that they don't deserve any kind of forgiveness whatsoever because of the act, that they've done. And I want to encourage you today to maybe understand what, especially biblical grace and biblical mercy, what they truly mean. I am so happy that I'm forgiven. I've done a lot of crap in my life, a lot of things that many people would not think was forgivable, and yet God forgave me for them. His love, His forgiveness encouraged me to change and to become a better person. I know back in the day when I was, still in that victim mentality, and I didn't want to let go of all the anger and the hurt, and didn't want to forgive, my stepfather for the things he had done. And I finally realized that I was hurting nobody but myself. I was holding myself in bondage because I couldn't let it go. I couldn't take what happened to me and take it and lay it at the feet of the cross, at the foot of the cross, and say, here you go, Jesus. I choose to forgive this person, and I choose to let it go, because vengeance is yours, and I know that you are a just God, and whether that justice happens in this earth or in eternity to come, it's going to happen. And then there was always that fact of, that I always thought, well, what if that person ends up giving their life to Christ, and then they're forgiven? Those are just those thoughts, quandaries you get into, and you're just like, I don't understand. And all you need to know is that you were instructed to forgive. And sometimes it's the hardest thing to think of, but I'm telling you the stuff that I'm going to tell you what happened to me when I chose to forgive. I got peace. I had tranquility. I was learning to become happy. I no longer got angry about things anymore. My healing actually exponentially got better. I mean, it was crazy. Certain things, issues that I had time and time again, I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting better. I was doing the therapy, I was reading the books, I was praying, all this stuff that I thought I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't letting go, and I wasn't forgiving like I was supposed to. And once I did that, exponentially, things that I had been struggling with just began to just be loosed, and I was so much better for it. I'm not saying decisions to forgive are easy, and I'm not saying that because you forgive someone that they need to be in your life. I have people that I've forgiven, and they still have access to my life, through social media or through other family members or whatnot, and they honestly feel that I have not forgiven them for things that they've done because I don't have them in my immediate circle in my everyday life. And that's because they are still toxic people, and they have not themselves been healed, and so having them in my life would only hurt me and would only further harm me. And so I had to learn to set boundaries and not have people in my life that were going to hurt me. So just because you forgive someone No matter whether it's someone that said something, they called you a jerk, or they called you a name, or they gossiped about you, or you got fired from a job, your spouse was rude to you, your spouse hurt your feelings, your kids were rude, your kids were misbehaving. All of these things that you don't understand, and once you forgive, you're gonna see how much your life is better. I know the things I had to forgive, my stepfather for stealing my innocence and for making me fearful. I wasn't able to trust, all those horrific things that happened. All those things are gone now. I'm actually able to pray for my stepfather and actually lay on my face, lay prostrate before the Lord and pray for him and want him to do better, want him to be completely healed. He in turn, because of me sitting down and having a meeting with him after he spent 14 years in prison, he's come to know the Lord now, and he's a Christian. He doesn't have a good life because, once you're a sexual predator and, you have that on your record, it's very difficult for society to forgive. So he has a pretty crappy life, and in prison it was even worse. You can only imagine. And I'm not happy any of the things happened to him. It actually vexes me, to know those kind of things happened to him, because I know it happened to me, and I know how it felt to be violated like that. And he can't, I got my justice. He went to prison, but there's lots of people out there that their perpetrator never got caught, or they decided not to prosecute or whatnot. And for those people out there, I want to encourage you to put it in God's hands. You think things aren't happening, but you know what? I want to remind you that God sees everything. He has every hair on your head numbered. There is not one single thing that's happened in your life that he does not know about. He knows your hurts. He knows your pains. He knows your anxieties. He sees your tears. He sees those sleepless nights. He cares about you. And just because you don't think things are working out in your favor right now does not mean that a week from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, things are not going to be 100% better. I just want to encourage you to forgive so you yourself can begin to experience freedom. There's nothing like the freedom that I have right now, because now I am quick to forgive somebody. I don't hold grudges. Somebody hurts me, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to take it personally. That issue's on them, but I'm going to choose to forgive them. Some people I still have in my life, and some people I don't. It just depends on the offense. But I still forgive them because I'm commanded to, and because my heart now is so conditioned to understand that everything I was forgiven for, and I'm so grateful for that who am I, to hold out against somebody. I want to encourage you, if you're struggling with this issue, to get on your face and figure out what it is, why you can't, and make that conscious decision to forgive, because the feelings of forgiveness aren't always there. Sometimes you just have to choose to forgive, and then as you work that out, everything else is going to follow. Because the enemy doesn't want you to forgive, because he knows what kind of freedom it brings. And so every chance he's going to get, a little feeling might pop up in your heart, and you're like, well, I have this feeling. I must not have forgiven this person. Yes, you have. If you made the conscious decision to forgive that person, you have forgiven them. The resolution of all those feelings that come along with that, they're going to be dealt with as you stay close to God and stay in his presence and allow him to love on you. I promise you. I want you to stay encouraged. I love you, ladies. And if you're listening to this, I want you to know it works. I'm living proof. And God is no respecter of people. What he does for one, he's going to do for the other. Love you. Bye-bye.